Hello, this is not a Zoom meeting. This is me, and this is really Oldenburg. Vanessa and I managed to get down here a few weeks ago, and it's been great to be on the farm. It's been absolutely spectacular. I think what's important to me is we've got such a big program here in terms of taking this whole farm forward, and this year in terms of getting on with things in the vineyards, we had a continuation of a big program. I think behind me it's this block of Chardonnay that we've just planted. The vines are going to be on the pole to help them with the wind. It's high density to help with the vines will compete more, which will lower the vigor of the vines, which is really, that's always a step towards quality. So that's an exciting new development for us, and it adds to two other blocks of Chardonnay we planted last year, and next year we'll actually plant one more block of Chardonnay on top of some of the older blocks of Chardonnay we have. So very clear, we love Chardonnay in this valley. The other thing we've been doing, and you've probably heard me talk about it before, is the pruning. Nick did some was showing some of you the pruning that we do on an earlier video during winter. It's our third year of using our Italian consultants, and it's really starting to look fantastic. So I hadn't seen it for a while, but the vines are starting to form the shape that is so important to getting the homogeneous shoot growth. Once again, all focused on quality and getting the sap flow exactly through the vines, all in great shape. So that's a it's a very big program, 70,000 vines, all done by hand. It's a lot of work, but it does take about 3 or 4 years for it to have its impact. And guess what? Next harvest is year 4, if you like. So we're really expecting some exciting stuff. Last week we managed to do some tasting of both the 19 vintage and 2020 vintage. I certainly know that 2020 is might be infamous for many things, but it's going to be famous for a great Oldenburg vintage, that's for sure. Perfect conditions, perfect weather. I think it's Nick's second vintage in the cellar. He was extremely happy with the setup, but the nice thing is it only matters, and when you sort of start tasting the wines. And we first did some 2019 wines, and we're looking good. We're really happy about them. And we then tasted the 2020, which are still in barrel, but they're looking pretty spectacular. So from a winemaking side of things, the tasting the wines is what it's all about, and we're really excited to see the development. Everything's coming together. It's taken a long time, and when we started this business, it's sort of rapidly approaching 20 years ago. We were super excited about the potential at Oldenburg and on Rondekop for what we've got, and I think as we go into these 2019 and 2020 wines, which some of them will be released next year, and then obviously the year after, but it's not long actually until we have the 2020 whites, and we'll have the 2019 reds coming out next year as well. All of this talk about wines and winemaking is making me thirsty, so why don't we go and find Nick, and let's go and have a glass of something special. Right, found a wine, found a winemaker. Always good on a wine farm, easy to do. And here we have a Oldenburg Vineyards 2017. Nick, do you want to just tell me a little bit about this wine?
Yeah, so Merlot is a variety which works so well on our property. This wine specifically comes from a small little block that we have on decomposed Table Mountain sandstone, and it's amazing. We are at quite a cool spot, so quite a high altitude, but it just seems to work. Having the cool site plus a northeasterly facing, which is a warmer slope, which just seems to get our Merlot ripe and phenolically ripe. This was in about 15% new oak, so we've tamed down the oak quite a bit, just to let the fruit shine better. And On the nose, you get that lovely red fruit. There's that some raspberry, even like a touch of rhubarb. You know, just elegant, dark fruit. Even starting to give a slight little bit of that like savoury character. And then, you know, on that palate, that smoothness that we known, you know, for that comes through the Oldenburg Merlot, that lovely, velvety tannins, that nice, like fresh acidity, which will make this wine age so well.
Well, fantastic! It certainly tastes delicious. So, well, look, I think it's been an eventful year, let's say. Just before we sign off, I would like to say to the team at Oldenburg, you guys have been fantastic. It's you know, I think a year like this really does bring people together, and I think the team here has come together, and they've, you know, what they could do, they've done. So, you know, well done to them, and well done to you and your team. And I think it's probably safe to say, well, here's looking to 2021, right?
Yeah, we made 2020. Cheers.
Cheers.